Hello and welcome to Rise Eyes YouTube channel. Myself, Dr. Pragati Ojha. Today, I will explain one editorial article from the Hindu newspaper. Let's see the topic. The topic is interesting and different from everyday's topic that we discuss. The topic is from Environment, Funding India's Climate Future, a $1 trillion question. It is from GS Paper 3, Mains Environment. However, this topic is also relevant from prelims aspect because key facts, topics like key facts are mentioned. For example, Paris Agreement, COP, or finance. These terms you may get questions from these kind of terms using in the UPC prelims examinations. Now come to the mains examinations. If you see, we have provided one past year paper questions to understand how UPC frame questions in the environment sections, GS paper 3. If we see in 2025, one question has come, that is write a review on India's climate commitments under the Paris Agreement 2015 and mention how these have been further strengthened in COP26 2021. In this direction, how was the first nationally determined contribution intended by India been updated in 2022? You have to write within 250 words. Therefore, the question marks is 15 marks. Now, since we have already question has appeared in the environment sections from the Paris Agreement with respect to the Paris Agreement, and also there is a related with respect to national determined contributions. But this entire topic again is talking about the India's climate financing India's climate future. So we may expect questions with respect to the way forward, mitigations, or the challenges India recently facing. So we can get different questions from these sections, because this year we are seeing lots of questions or the lots of topics are relevant with respect to economy, IR, but for also these times also you pay in the Hindu or as well as in the Indian Express sections, editorial sections, we are getting newses with respect to polity and environment topics also. So therefore, stress on these kind of topics. These are very relevant and you may get questions in UPSC upcoming mains examinations, that is 2026 or 2027. One model question we have also provided. It will help you understand what kind of questions may appear from this topic. So please attend this question after reading this topic and mention in our comment section. So let's see what is the mains model questions with respect to this topic. India requires massive investment to achieve its NDCs, that is nationally determined contribution, and net zero target. Discuss the role of climate finance in India's green transition and examine the challenges associated with the mobilization and deploying climate finance. 15 marks, and you have to write within 250 words. So before going through this article, I would like to say that you need to understand certain points or certain headings, so that you can, if it will help you understand this entire topic, which we have highlighted in different colors. It will help you to understand understand where you can give stress from this part. So let's see which all the headings or the themes are important to for these articles that will help you to write mains answer. First, you have to understand what is the context, that is the news. In brief, what is happening. Second, you have to understand, I'm talking inside the news, I'm highlighting. That is, it is talking about the climate finance. So you have to understand what is climate finance is basically. Third, then you have to understand the magnitude of India's climate finance challenge. That is with the data we'll see. Fourth is the climate finance taxonomy, because the article is also talking about the climate finance taxonomy, what it is. Fifth, that is India's existing climate finance ecosystem, we have to know. Sixth, that is the role of RBI in strengthening climate finance. Seventh, we have to understand the key gaps in India's climate finance architecture. And eighth, that is way forward with a will end this article discussion with a small conclusion. So let's see what is the context. The context, it is saying that is India needs 162.5 trillion, roughly around $2.5 trillion by 2030 to meet its nationally determined contribution. However, over the longer term, the cost of achieving net zero emission by 2070 is estimated at $10.1 trillion, nearly 3 times India's current GDP. But there is a but. We can see that is while climate finance instruments are available in India, but the major challenges lies in creating an effective instrumental and financial framework to channel these funds towards climate action efficiently. We have understood the context that has already, the topic has already set, already decided in the context itself. Now let's see, understand what is climate finance. Climate finance is refers to the financial resources that is mobilized from public, private, domestic, and international sources to address climate change. What it supports to key areas. First is the climate mitigations, that is reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. Second is the climate adaptations, that is it is reducing the vulnerability to climate change impacts. Now, certain examples we have to understand with respect to climate finance, what it finances: renewable energy, green hydrogen, electric mobility, climate and resilient architectures, and flood and coastal protections. Now, a protection infrastructure. Now, let's see why is climate finance is important for India right now. Because it meets climate commitments. How India requires substantial investment to achieve its nationally determined contribution targets and net zero goal by 2070. Already we know the amount. Second, it's supporting green industrial transition. How this green industrial transition, green bonds, we have already seen in this year questions 2026 in the prelims examination. So therefore, emphasize on the term green with respect to environment or with respect to economy. So what it is saying, high emission sectors such as steel, cement, power and transport require financing to adapt cleaner technologies. Third, it is highlighting, it is talking about enhancing climate resilience. How climate finance supports adaptation measures such as drought management, flood control, coastal protections, and sustainable agriculture also. Fourth, that is promoting sustainable development, how green investment generate employment, improve energy security, and foster sustainable economic growth. Because how it is generating employment, because it is also at the same time improving the infrastructure, and for that employment generation automatically is happening. Now we have to understand this third sections, that is magnitude of India's climate finance challenge. Let's see with data, including the data, what are the magnitudes. Massive investment requirements. India at present requires around 162.5 trillion. We already have introduced it in the context. Around 2.5 trillion by 2030 to achieve its climate commitments under the Paris Agreement. B, that is it talking about achieving the net zero target by 2070, is estimated to require nearly $10.1 trillion, equivalent to around 3 times of India's current GDP. Now, the second is the point is sector specific financing needs. Here it is talking about decarbonizing the steel, cement, power, and transport sectors, and this will require approximately $467 billion in additional investment between 2022 and 2030. Almost it is talking about highlighting 8 years. These sectors account for more than 50% of India's carbon emissions, because these are heavy sectors, power sectors, or the steel sectors, road transport sectors. These sectors account for more than 50% of India's carbon emissions, making them central to the green transitions. Third, insufficiency of global climate finance. What it is talking, the developed world failed to fully meets its commitment of $100 billion annually under Paris Agreement. Second, it is also talking about that new collective quantified goal that targets $300 billion annually by 2035 remains inadequate for developing countries also. Therefore, India needs to mobilize the majority of the climate finance through domestic sources only. Now come to what is the domestic sources, that is climate finance taxonomy. We have to understand the way ahead. Now it is coming up. That is, it is talking about climate finance taxonomy is a classification framework that defines which economic activities qualify as green, sustainable, or climate friendly investment. Benefits, what we can see, it improves transparency and investor confidence. Second, it facilitates a greater domestic and international climate investment, also provides a common framework for sustainable finance and regulatory oversight. Therefore, it is actually a climate finance classification. Now, we have to understand India's at present existing climate finance ecosystem. If we see, India has growing green debt, that is by end of 2024, India had issued around $55.9 billion in green social sustainability and sustainability linked debt instrument, that is reflecting rapid growth in the sustainable finance. Now you see sovereign green bonds, what it is. India already issued sovereign green bonds worth $477 billion, and it will help to establish market benchmarks and strengthen investor confidence. Third, that is availability of financial instruments like already possess multiple climate financing tools, including green bonds, sustainability linked bonds, blended finance, transition finance instruments, and infrastructure investment trust, IVITS. Now, we have to understand what is the key challenge. Key challenge over here is to scale up these instruments and improve instrumental coordinations for effective deployment. Here it was already mentioned over here. The instrument already exists, but the challenge is deploying them at scale. India already has green bonds, sovereign green bonds, sustainability green linked bonds, blended finance structure, transition finance instruments, and infrastructure investment trust. What is missing is the connective tissue, that is the taxonomy, a proper classification, a guarantee architecture, a liquidity mechanism, and the liquidity incentives, and that make green finance more cheaper than the brown finance. Now come up to the next section, that is how RBI is helping us in strengthening the climate finance. First, climate risk management framework, RBI, what it has done in 2025, if we see RBI introduced climate finance and management of climate change risk directions that requires the bank to integrate climate risk into lending and risk management practices. Of good, very good. Second portion is the green activities under public sector lendings. That is, RBI has included eligible green activities under priority sector lending, PSL, enabling greater credit flow towards sustainable sectors. Third, that is climate risk information system. What it is talking about, that is RBI is developing CRIS to help bank assess climate related financial risk, and therefore it will strengthen the resilience of the banking sector. Fourth, that is the future regulatory reforms. What RBI has done or planned to do, that is RBI may introduce climate stress and testing differentiated capital requirement to discourage carbon intensive lending and promote green funding or promote green investment. Now let's see what are the key gaps in India's climate finance architecture right at present. That is, we all know taxonomy, but that is absence of green finance, climate finance taxonomy, weak institutional coordinations, limited private sector participations, inadequate climate adaptations, and state level financing constraint is also there. That is over here already highlighted the challenges. Without a clear legal definition of what count as green bonds cannot be credibly verified. Priority sector lending classifications remain questionable. International investors cannot make compliance claims, and regulators cannot effectively curb greenwashing. Therefore, Climate Finance, Ministry of Finance, Climate Finance Taxonomy, and the Ministry of Steel's Green Steel Taxonomy will facilitate the standardized sustainable investment and boost investor confidence for further investment in India towards the green economy. Now understand about, we will see the way forward to overcome this. Here the way forward already highlighted over here. So India needs 4 things that India must do now. First, that is finalize the climate finance taxonomy. How? India first finalize and enact the climate finance taxonomy without further delay. It is the single most leverage action available. Second, RBI must move from enabling green finance to mandating it. Through how? The ways should be differentiating the capital requirements, mandatory climate testings for banks, and expanding the PSL, that is the priority sector lending targets that will include climate adaptations alongside the mitigation framework. Third, that is establish a state climate finance facility, that for example by the Union National Bank for Agriculture, that is, and Rural Development, that is NABARD, and international sources to give states and municipalities genuine access to green debt markets. Fourth, that is scale sovereign green bonds issuance rapidly, and at the same time implement them in the SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio framework, to deepen the domestic market and at the same time attract foreign investment or the foreign capital. So all these things has already been mentioned over here. That is the fifth one, the scaling up the green bonds. And the sixth one is one extra points I've mentioned, that is the promoting blended finance. That is public capital should be strategically used to mobilize larger volumes of public investment in climate related sectors. Now, the topic will conclude today with a short conclusions. That is, I would like to say India's climate finance challenge is less about the availability of the funds and more about the effective implementations or the mobilizations and deployment. Therefore, strengthening the climate finance taxonomy, regulatory frameworks, and institutional capacity is very crucial for achieving India's climate and net zero goals by 2070. So already over here in these portions, the conclusions you can get, that is, it is saying that India's climate finance challenge is large and very urgent, but not insurmountable. Means it is actually also not that you cannot decipher. The instrument exists. There are instruments. The regulatory framework is also there. It's taking shape and capital is also available. What missing is not the money, but the institutional capacity to deploy it at scale. Fixing that is the work of the budget cycle. Therefore, country that solve this challenge first will shape the future of the climate finance in the developing world. That is including India. तो इसके बाद आप लोग को मेंस डीप एनालिसिस का वीडियो आएगी, जहाँ पे आप लोग को मेंस का पोर्शन से फ्रॉम टुडेज द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर से रेलिवेंट टॉपिक के ऊपर पीवाईक्यू डिस्कशन होगा, प्लस मेंस उसके साथ मॉडल मेंस क्वेश्चंस भी आप लोग को दिया जाएगा. प्लीज अटेंड दोज क्वेश्चंस. एंड उसके बाद आप लोग को प्रीलिम्स वाइट, जहाँ पे प्रीलिम स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक फ्रॉम द टुडेज द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर से डिस्कस होगा. एंड उसके साथ आप लोग को प्रीवियस ईयर का क्वेश्चंस विद मॉडल एमसीक्यू भी मिलेगी. प्लीज वॉच दोज वीडियोस and also visit our ISIS website and download these portions, these topics, these detailed discussions topics in from our ISIS websites, editorial under the editorial explain sections, under mains deep analysis, and under prelims white sections. Thank you. All the best.